This is autumn Russian forest. It's practically the end of October, and we feel the coming of winter. Look, the grass is already gray. It seems that there is no life here. Little mushrooms. Orange. My fingers are dirty. Sweet. You can eat them fresh. The doggies. This is a leg, as far as I can guess. And it's the 1st of November. And we had some temperatures below zero, very cold. Still, in the daytime it's warm. And you can gather some mushrooms. Well, it's so dark in the forest and the brown leaves, but look what we have found. Another family of very bright mushrooms. Very sweet they are. You can fry them with some onion, just in oil. Look, well, actually it's a big family. Their legs are very long and tiny. So here under the leaves you can find some samples of these mushrooms. Well, another family. Orange spots. Okay guys, and now I would like to show you all the mushrooms that we have gathered today. Of course, this is very little, but remember that it's already November and it's quite alright that we have so little of mushrooms. Okay, what are we going to do? You see how dirty they are? There's some soil, some mud, leaves, some moss here. And the first thing that we are going to do is to wash it off. That is why I have some water here. So I'm just going to take these mushrooms and put them into this special dish with water, and I will keep them there for a while so that all this mud can easily get off. So, okay, they're all here. Well, let them soak for a while, and then we're going to wash these mushrooms and cut them into smaller pieces. So I let these mushrooms soak for a while, and now you see the results. We see the leaves and some mud here on the bottom. Okay, and now these are clean mushrooms. Well, they're practically clean because it's impossible to wash off all the tiny pieces. But I have another life hack. What to do in order to get rid of every little tiny piece of non-mushroom substance. Okay, here we have two types of mushrooms. The first one, it's orange. Yeah, it is called chanterelle. Chanterelle. They're very sweet, and they have the smell of fruits. Some people eat them fresh, but today I'm going to show you how we cook it. Okay, so here you have a lot of chanterelles. And the other type of mushrooms that we have here, it is called oyster mushroom. Look, this is the view from below. They grow on the trees, and yeah, they really look like oysters. Well, this is the place where they stick to the tree, to the trunk of the tree, and so they look like this. Okay, well, and this is another type of oyster mushrooms. Okay, so we are going to cook them. After soaking these mushrooms in water, I took these mushrooms, which are called chanterelles, and actually they're rather clean mushrooms. The only thing that I had to do is to cut off the bottom of the leg, and that is all. What concerns oyster mushrooms, well, actually I did the same, but their leg is very short. You see that they practically have no leg. So I had to, well, peel off some dirt from here, and that is all. These both types of mushrooms have got mushroom plates here and here. You see these plates. Well, they smell like mushrooms. This type, orange ones, chanterelles, they have a fruity smell. Okay, what are we going to do next? Next, we're going to boil them. Okay, guys, and what am I doing now? I'm boiling these mushrooms. You see that some of them were cut into smaller parts, into smaller pieces, because in my opinion, smaller pieces look nicer, they taste nicer. But if you like them big, it's okay if you put them whole without cutting them into pieces. Well, but if these mushrooms are small enough, like these ones, these examples, well, you just drop them into this water without cutting into smaller pieces. Okay, now why am I boiling these mushrooms? Why do I usually do it? It's actually because first, I like to get rid of some specific smell of mushrooms. Sometimes it's not too delicious. And the other more important thing is that when they boil, they get rid of these tiny pieces of mud, as I have told you before. Okay, so you let water boil and you start stirring this water and stirring these mushrooms. Okay, you see that I boil it on this fire, but later I will make it a little bit, okay, like this. I'll turn it down. Yeah, but the thing is that you will see this foam and your task is, while stirring these mushrooms, take off this foam, because it will help you to get rid of all these parts that you brought from forest with mushrooms, and it will make your mushrooms cleaner. So you take some plate and simply while stirring you take off this foam and put it on some plate. Okay, and later I will show you the results of this boiling. Well, the thing is that you don't have to overcook your mushrooms. It's not over boiling. It's just that you turn them from raw to boiled. Okay, something like this. So you see this white foam. Sometimes it may be gray, but usually it is white, maybe a little bit creamy. Well, now I'll let the fire down like this, but these mushrooms still keep on boiling, and it helps me to take off this foam. Okay, well, now you don't want your mushrooms turned into rubber. That is why don't overcook them, don't overboil them. Just a few minutes, from 5 to 10 minutes, that'll be enough. Okay, so in a while you can add some salt. Of course, it depends on how salty you love your food. If you don't like salt at all, you don't add it, but I like it salty enough. Well, you see that the water here, the so-called broth, mushroom broth, is gold, and it's really delicious. Well, we cook soups, mushroom soups. You may add some potato, some onion. Sometimes we add buckwheat, or it can be some macaronis. Well, anything that you would like in your soup. Well, now while boiling, you may feel this, you may scent this smell, specific mushroom smell. Well, my mom, for example, doesn't like it, but I adore it. Okay, so our mushrooms are practically cooked. Well, especially these chanterelles, look, they keep their color. They're still orange. They look very nice. Okay, I'll let it boil just for another 2 minutes and turn the fire off. Okay, I'm done here. The next thing that we're going to do is to fry our mushrooms. So we take some oil. It can be vegetable oil, or you may add some butter if you like. We'll do it a little bit later, because butter is good just for adding some very special creamy taste to these mushrooms. But now just vegetable oil. Don't forget to stir your mushrooms now and then. So you see that again their color is bright, like these autumn leaves. Okay, let's stir a little bit more. Now, of course, mushrooms are so tasty, and they're so full of their own specific scent that you don't, and taste, that you don't have to add anything. But here we like to add something like onion or even garlic. I know that some people add garlic or pepper. Well, it depends on your taste, what you want to get as a result of your cooking. Here I have 1 head of garlic that I'm going to cut into these mushrooms. So now the question is when to add onion into the mushrooms. If your mushrooms are watery and you see that they somehow keep on boiling in the pan, you just wait. You wait till this water, this broth boils off. And then you add onion. Here you see that my mushrooms are rather dry because these mushrooms, plate mushrooms, are usually quite dry. So I just add this onion that I have already cut into small pieces. I just slice them and cube them just because I don't want to see, and I don't want to I don't want this onion to dominate over mushrooms. I want this onion to add its flavor to the flavor of mushrooms, and believe me that they co-work together perfectly. Okay, so now you see that onion is now you see that it doesn't take long to fry onion. For mushrooms it takes longer time, so that is why you just let this onion first keep on the surface of these mushrooms. Do not stir it into these mushrooms because you don't want to burn your onion. So, but gradually, as you see that it changes its color, it becomes somehow transparent, so to say, you start stirring them together. And then the thing is, again, it depends on how much, what degree of frying you want to have. If you like your mushrooms like roasted, then you just cook it longer. Then if you want just to add a little touch of this fire to these mushrooms, it will take you just a few minutes. Alright, so a few minutes later you see that our mushrooms haven't changed their color. They're still bright orange, yes, and look like tiny pieces of leaves. They haven't changed their size because usually some types of mushrooms after cooking become smaller, but these ones are as large, practically as large as after gathering them. So the onion has changed its color. It became transparent mostly, and you may want to make it caramelized. If you do want to do it, just let it fry a little longer. Okay, and as I say, some people like to add sour cream to benefit the taste of mushrooms, but today I would like to add a tiny piece of butter because I think it will work perfectly with our mushrooms. So the thing is that, again, you smoothly stir it into these mushrooms. I think it looks delicious. You may eat it all by itself or with potatoes or macaroni, rice, any kinds of vegetables. I think it looks perfect. Now see who's been helping me all this time. Our little cooks. Yes, hello Kitty. And another one here. Yes, these are my assistants who always help me. Later I will show some other pets of our family. And now let's return to our mushrooms and see what's going on in the pan. Okay, so here are our mushrooms well done. Well, once again, these are chanterelles, and these bigger ones are called oyster mushrooms. Maybe the only thing that I would change here is the size of these mushrooms. You see that it's actually late autumn and the mushrooms are rather dry, especially these blade mushrooms, and it's not easy maybe to chew them when they are big. So I think that smaller pieces would be nicer to chew, but still they're very nice. Okay, so here we have a plate, and we decided to try these mushrooms. Okay, and here I have my companion. Скажи. Yana, what do you think about these mushrooms? Do you like them? Hmm?
Yes.
Are they delicious? Mm. Okay, thank you guys for watching, and I'm sure that it is an adventure to go to the forest to find these mushrooms, finally to cook them and enjoy your meals. I see you later. Goodbye.